Yes, hello dear students, welcome back to my class. Yes, today I am again continuing my class tissue. Okay, so in our previous class we already discussed about the animal tissues. Okay, did you remember animal tissues? What are they? Yes, they are epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. Yes. Yes, today I am continuing the class by explaining two more tissues, that is muscular tissue and nervous tissue. Okay. Yes, before going to that, let us recall what about epithelial tissue and connective tissue. Okay. So epithelial tissue is nothing but it is the outer covering of the body. Okay, it is nothing but a skin. Okay, in the skin we can see, and also in the oviduct and also in the esophagus. Okay, the outer lining of each and every organism is made up of epithelial tissue. Okay, so they are having their own importance. Okay, so the next one is the connective tissue. The connective tissues which are very useful in the connection of tissues to tissue and also the tissue to bone. Okay, so especially they are very helpful in the connection of tissue to tissue and bone to bone. Okay, so here cells, tissues, organs, they are all interconnected with each other because of connective tissue. Okay, so they are nothing but connective tissues are areolar tissue, adipose tissue, yes, the dense connective tissue, okay, that is bones and the cartilage. Okay, did you remember all those things? Yes. So they are all considered as connective tissue that I have explained in my last class. Okay, let us continue by what? Muscular tissue. The other type of animal tissue is muscular tissue. So here muscular tissue again broadly classified into three types. Yes, how many types? It is three types. They are nothing but striated muscle tissue, striated muscle tissue, unstriated or unstriped muscle tissue, and the last one is cardiac tissue. Cardiac tissue or cardiac muscle tissue. Okay, so here muscular tissue, it's a very important tissue in our body where it is present in the muscles. Okay, especially in the muscles. So in muscle we can see, so this muscle tissue is mainly made up of two kind of cells. They are fibers and a matrix. Is how these are made up of? Fibers and matrix. Muscles are made up of fibers and a matrix. Okay, so because of this, because this fiber and matrix, these two are a kind of cell. Okay, matrix here is a jelly-like structure. Okay, matrix is a jelly-like structure, and the fibers, these are the fiber cells, fibrous cell, you can say that. Okay, so because of these two cells, the together form a tissue known as muscle tissue. Because you know that a tissue, if we called it as tissue, that should made up of cells. Okay, so the tissue anta karibekadre adu cells inda agirbeku. Okay, so the muscle tissue is made up of two kind of cell, that is the fiber and a matrix. Okay, so due to the arrangement of fiber and matrix, we can classify them into three types. Okay, they are striated muscle tissue, unstriped muscle tissue and the cardiac muscle tissue. Okay, so we know the function of muscles in our body. Okay, if you feel pain in your body, okay, pain in your muscle, why? So this is because of fibers and the matrix, they get damaged or they get stress. Okay, if these cells are going to stress in our body, then we feel pain. Okay, so because of all the body movements of our body movements, they are mainly depending upon muscular tissue. Okay, so these are like the specialized function known as contraction and relaxation. So it is just like a spring. Okay, so muscles are nothing but they are just like a spring. So ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? They need energy, more energy. So here also, so muscles, they are all like a spring. Okay, so these muscles, they are very helpful in our different body activities. Okay, so due to the structure of these three kind of muscle tissue, we are going to do the specialized body activity. Okay, let us see what are their body activity. So this is what the first kind of muscular tissue, that is striped or striated muscle tissue. Striped or striated muscle tissue. So here the striped muscle tissue, they are elongated structure. They are the cells of this muscle tissue. They are having what? Elongated muscle tissue. So they are like this. If you take a single section of muscle from your body, okay, so these cells, it can be seen under the microscope because this is a cell. Okay, so this one is a cell. Itself is a cell. Okay, so this is single cell of muscle. This is what? Single cell of muscle. So these each and every single is elongated. Elongated andre uddavagiruvanthaddu. Okay, so these are having elongated cylindrical cell. Cylindrical andre eno? This is just like a pipe. Okay, cylindrical shape alva. So the cell of these elongated and cylindrical type, and also these are having stripes like this. Okay, on its outer body it is having stripe. Stripe andre enu? Itara ಗೆರೆಗಳು alva. So this type of stripes are present on the cells. So the name striped or striated muscle tissue. Okay, in between them they are having nucleus. Okay, what is this? These are the nucleus. So these are multinucleated. Okay, so in a single cell it is having many nucleus. So it is called as multinucleated cell. So striped muscles having multinucleated cell. Okay, so what is the structure of striped muscle tissue? They are the cells of striped muscle tissue. They are elongated, cylindrical and multinucleated cells. Okay, so these are having many stripes on its body. Okay, so they are striped muscle tissue. So this is what? Single tissue. Okay, single cell. So I will continue the cell like this. It's again. Okay, like this it continued. So it is continued. So these are all what? Stripes. Okay, so these are very helpful in rhythmic function. These are very helpful in what? Rhythmic function. So if you are going to do any work, okay, so this is because of the cells, that is what? Muscle cells. Okay, so here in what kind of organ we can see this kind of cells? It is present in voluntary organs. So what kind of organs? Voluntary organs. So what do you mean by voluntary organs? Okay, voluntary organs andre enu? So these are nothing but the organs which are the controlling in our body power, will power. Okay, the organ which is under the control of our willpower. So they are known as voluntary organ. So for example, if this is my hand. Okay, palm. So if I want to do like this, yes, I can easily do like this. Okay, if I want to move my hand like this, I can move. If I want to move my shoulder, yes, I can move this. Okay, even leg also I can move. Okay, I can move my hands and also I can move my legs. So these hands and legs are the voluntary organs. So ನಾನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬೇಕೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. If I want to do like this, I can do this. So you can also do this. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ನಡಿಬೇಕಾ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ನಡಿಬಹುದು, ಮೆಲ್ಲಗೆ ನಡಿಬೇಕಾ ಮೆಲ್ಲಗೆ ನಡಿಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬೇಕೋ ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ voluntary organs. Okay, so these voluntary organs are made up of striped muscle tissue. Okay, got my point? A striped muscle tissue. So because of these stripes, we can move like this. Okay, so we don't feel any pain now because of what? Movement of muscle. Okay, I already told that these muscle tissues, they are like a spring. ಈ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗನ್ನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಲ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದಕ್ಕೇನೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗೆ ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ these striped muscles, they are very helpful in voluntary actions. Voluntary actions ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಂಗೆ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿ ಮೂಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Okay, so the organ which are under the control of animal will or our conscious is known as voluntary organs. So these organs are made up of striped or striated muscle tissue. Okay, understood now what are voluntary organs? Yes. So let us know about unstriped muscle tissue. Unstriped. So as the name says that here there are no stripes. Here the cells doesn't having any striped. Okay, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಪ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ it is just like this. These are also single cells. Okay, these are also single cell. Yes, these are what? Unstriped muscle tissue. These are uninucleated body. These are having uninucleated cells. Okay. Yes, this is also muscle tissue. Yes, do you identify any difference between these two now? Yes, we can identify. So here the cells of striped muscle tissue, they are having stripes, but here there is no stripe on the cells. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಪ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay, these are also known as smooth muscle tissue. Smooth muscle tissue. Okay, these are also known as what? Smooth muscle tissue. Okay, so the cells of these tissues are very smooth. Why? Because they doesn't having any stripes on the cells. Okay, so these are also elongated cell. They are all having elongated cell, uninucleated, and here, but here multinucleated cells, but here uninucleated cells. Okay, so elongated, uninucleated, and also they are having branched cells. Okay, so this kind of muscle tissue we can find in involuntary organs. So voluntary organs is ಮೇಲೆ involuntary nu ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? Okay, what does it mean by involuntary? Okay, so the organ which are not under the control of animal will. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗದೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ organs. Okay, the organs which are not under the control of animal wills, they are known as involuntary muscle cells. Involuntary organ. Okay, you can make a note on this. Okay, underline the points and also you can note down the point. This is very important point because for the examination point of view, you are having definitely you are having the question like this. Okay, so how do you difference between So a striped and unstriped muscle tissue. Okay, you should differentiate. Okay, you can differentiate by their structure and their functions also. Okay, so involuntary muscles tissue, they are made up of the fibers and a matrix. They are all arranged like this. So these are smooth muscle fibers. But where do you find this involuntary muscle tissues? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು? ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ? Okay, it is in food pipe. Okay, esophagus, food pipe, trachea. Okay, even our digestive tract. Okay, even in your eye. Okay, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣುಗಳಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಸಹ involuntary muscles ಇದೆ. Because we cannot control our blinking of our eyes. So in unknowingly we are blinking our eyes. Okay, ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕಣ್ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡೇ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ? ನೋ. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬ್ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ? ನೋ. ಮಲಗಿರುವಾಗ ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಐಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಬ್ಲಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಐಸ್ is also not under the control of animal will. Okay, so they are considered as involuntary muscle, involuntary organ. Okay, even functioning of lungs, functioning of oviduct, functioning of trachea, functioning of heart. Okay, so ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಬೇಕಂದಾಗ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? So all the internal organs, okay, all the internal organs are considered as involuntary organs. Okay, so they are not under the control of animal will. So this is about the unstriped muscle tissue. So the next one is the cardiac muscle tissue. Let us see how it is. So here cardiac muscle tissues, they are also branched tissue. Okay, so they are having so many branches in them. Okay, they are highly branched. They are what? Highly branched organ. They are highly branched tissues. Okay, mainly here cardiac is nothing but the heart. Cardiac andre eno? It is nothing but heart. Okay, so the muscles of heart is made up of cardiac tissue. Okay, ನಮ್ಮ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಾ? ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಾ? ನೋ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆನ್ involuntary organ. Okay, so this organ, that is heart organ, these may function throughout our life. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಉಸಿರು ಇರೋ ತನಕ, ನಮಗೆ ಜೀವ ಇರೋ ತನಕ ಅದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದೇ ಡಸಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಎನಿ ರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಒಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸಹ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ it is possible to work from this heart muscle? How? This is because of cardiac tissue. So these are highly branched. This is also a spring-like structure. Okay, so because of highly branched cells, okay, multinucleated, elongated cells and also highly branched cells are also there in cardiac muscle tissue. So especially it is present only in the heart organ. Very heart alli matra ide. So what is the functioning of heart? Function of heart is pumping blood. So pump ಮಾಡುವಾಗ, so what kind of sound you can heard? Yes, it is lub-dub, lub-dub, lub-dub sound we can heard. Alva? Yes, how this sound will come? This is by rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the cardiac muscle tissue. Rhythmic contraction and relaxation. Contraction andre expand. Relaxation anta heladre, so their size become very less. So contraction, relaxation, contraction, relaxation. So like this throughout their life it is always going to work. It is always going to function of its own. So this is not under the control of animal will. So ನಮ್ಮ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ? ನೋ. Okay, so this heart is functioning 24/7 ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನ ಪರ್ಯಂತ ಇದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿದಮಿಕ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾರ್ಡಿಯಾಕ್ ಮಸಲ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so we should take care about our heart. ನಾವು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ದಿನ ನಾವು ಬದುಕಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕೇರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾರ್ಡಿಯಾಕ್ ಮಸಲ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ. Okay, so this is about all muscular tissue. Okay, I hope you understand now. Okay, what are the three type of tissue? Striated, unstriped and cardiac muscle tissue. Okay, yes, let us know about the next and last type of tissue, that is nervous tissue. Okay, the next kind of tissue is what? Nervous tissue. Okay, know about the nerve. Okay, so how each and every living organism, they're having a specialized body activity. So what is that body activity? That is response to stimulus. Okay, so response to stimulus. What is meant by response to stimulus? Okay, ಪ್ರಚೋದನೆಗೆ ತಕ್ಕ ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ರಿಯೆ. Okay, response ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ರಿಯಿಸುವುದು, ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಪ್ರಚೋದನೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಪ್ರಚೋದನೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, where the stimulus is there and the simultaneously response is also there. Okay, so here this function is carried out in our body because of nervous tissue. Okay, so if we are going to touch any hot object like this, what happens? Suddenly you draw back your hand like this. Why? Because you feel very hot. So how do you feel it is very hot? How do you know about this? This container or this bowl is very hot. How do you know? Yes, this is because of nervous system is there in our body. Okay, so they suggest they are giving suggestion to our body to draw back the hand. Okay, this is just an example. Okay, so this response to stimulus, it can represented by every living organism. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಜೀವಿನೂ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, even in plant also. Okay, nervous, they are all because of nervous tissue. Okay, let us see how this nervous tissue, what is the structure of this nervous tissue is. These are the dendrites. Okay, what is this? These are the dendrites and this is the nucleus. If you say any tissue, that should have cell. Tissue anta cell anta helbekadre adralli cell idde irbeku. Okay, this is what the dendrite, and this elongated body is nothing but axon. What is this? Axon. This is what? Nerve fiber, and this is covered by a sheath, is known as myelin sheath. Okay, so this nerve is a structural and functional unit of nervous tissue. Okay, so this is what the structure of nervous tissue. Neuron, it is a single nerve cell. This is a single nerve cell. Okay, so the single nerve cell, so many nerve cell together form a system. Okay, so many nerve cell together form a system. Okay, so this nervous system is made up of a main structural and functional unit known as the neuron. Neuron, nerve cell, so both are same. Okay, so the nerve cell is like this. These are having dendrite. So this dendrite is nothing but it is a outer projection of the cell. Outer projection where it is very helpful in receiving the stimulus. ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? Stimulus ಅನ್ನು receive ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದು? That is the dendrite. And this portion is known as the cell body. What is this? This is the cell body. Okay, this whole part is very helpful in receiving the stimulus. ಪ್ರಚೋದನೆಯನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಅದು ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So the next a long projection is known as the axon. Okay, what it is called as? A long projection from the cell body to the end is known as axon. Okay, so this axon is made up of, it is a very thin nerve cell is there, thin nerve fiber is there. So this nerve fiber is protected by the sheath. Okay, this is a kind of sheath. Sheath ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಅದರ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಒಂದು ಲೇಯರ್, ಹೊದಿಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ನಾವು ಚಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಹೊದ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಹಾಗೆ. So here the nerve fiber is there. This nerve fiber is protected by a sheath known as myelin sheath, where it is made up of fat. This myelin sheath is made up of what? Fat. Okay, so this is a nerve fiber, so protected by the myelin sheath, and this whole part is known as the axon. Okay, so next it is continued by nerve ending. What it is called as? Nerve ending. Okay, so this is the nerve, it is ends by this. Idilige end agodilla. Okay, so this nerve ending again attached to another dendrite and another axon. So here this attached to another nerve and another neuron. Okay, like this many neurons together form a system. Okay, so where it is very helpful in response to stimulus. Okay, so for example, when you're walking on the road, if you find any stone beating to your leg, so you feel very pain. ಏನಾದರೂ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಮುಳ್ಳು ಚುಚ್ಚಿದ್ರೆ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಅಮ್ಮ ಅಂತ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ವೈ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಪೇನ್. ವೈ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ರಿಸೀವಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲಸ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಏನೋ ನೀವು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಕಿರ್ಚೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ನೋವಾದರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಾನೇ ಕಿರ್ಚೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ this kind of suggestions and impulse given by the neuron, that is the nervous tissue. Okay, if you observe in the textbook, okay, you are having the figure like this. Okay, this is what the neuron which together form nervous tissue. Okay, yes, this is about the nervous tissue, where it is very helpful in showing response according to the stimulus. Stimulus ಗೆ ತಕ್ಕ ಹಾಗೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡೋದು, that is the nerve cell or neuron. Okay, so by this I will finish my first lesson, tissue. Okay, I hope you are all understood. If you have any doubt, you can call me or you can send message. Okay, thank you students, thank you for joining with me. Yes.